Joe's Gaming and Electronics. I'm your host, Eddie P, and today I'll be showing you guys how to clean your AirPods Pros, or you could kind of use this tutorial for most earbuds really. But today our main focus is the AirPod Pros. So you'll need a few things. You'll need a microfiber towel, or any kind of towel works, a little brush, and some Q-tips, and some rubbing alcohol. So put that aside. Start by opening them up, taking the two buds out and the case. Now I like to remove the ear tips and put them inside out. And they pop off just by like little clips. Should be super easy. Now we got all our pieces here, and we'll start one at a time. I like to start with the buds, and I'll grab my little brush here, and I will soak it up with some rubbing alcohol. You can see it. We get it wet, and then I'll go ahead and then just lightly brush and agitate on all the mesh here. I like to go in a circular motion. I found that this way is kind of the best, not to rub any wax that might be on here in. Luckily with the AirPod Pros, they have a mesh inside in these tips, so you have two layers of mesh that really stops a lot of the wax to go into your buds, but some still can if you kind of haven't cleaned them in a while. So do this, and then I like to get the brush and work it into that groove there, and then get any gunk out. Then I'll re-moisten the brush here, and then there's some more mesh right here. And so again, same thing. And here you could brush that out. And now one last piece. This really doesn't get much wax because I mean it's not in your ear, but it could get like dust particles and whatnot. Just, I don't know, maybe some pocket lint if you toss these in your pockets like I do, and you just pop it out, slap it in your pocket. But there we go. Agitate that, and then lastly, sometimes you get a buildup of just gunk right in here. So I'll do, again, following that same thing. Scrub, scrub, scrub. And then now I like to grab a Q-tip. I'll lightly moisten with the rubbing alcohol. So what I do is I get it wet, and then I kind of rub it on here just so it's very lightly moistened, and then I'll just like roll it across here. That way it doesn't rub any of that gunk that you just kind of agitated out, but instead it picks it up. Kind of work this way, and then I'll work back this way. And sometimes these aren't too dirty, but sometimes you will need to do this a couple times. Like if you'll still see you got some junk in there, you just kind of go ahead, go back to your brush, get it wet, agitate, agitate, wipe off. Luckily with these, they weren't too dirty this time, so we're pretty good here. And then once I've done that, I'll grab my microfiber, get it slightly damp with the alcohol. I'll kind of rub it in just so it's like not too wet on the outside, and I'll just do a final wipe down of like everything. And then again, make sure that you do this after you've kind of picked all that wax and gunk out of here, so then you don't potentially rub any. And I'm still pretty cautious when I work around those areas. And then you want to clean these charging pins right here. Make sure that they always have a good contact, and then just do a wipe down. And then what I like to do is I'll fold this up like so. It's kind of twice as thick. And then I will hold it down and then rub that crease right there, I guess, that pocket. And that'll really help clean that channel out right there. And once you're done with that, we'll go ahead and clean one of these. Again, grabbing that brush. Love the brush. Get it lightly wet, and just kind of go to town on this one. Since you could have access to both sides, you could fold that in. You could really rub and work that brush in there. So just work that brush in, scrub all around, and you could go ahead, grab a Q-tip. Again, I'll get it in some alcohol and then roll it off. And then that same technique to pick up any gunk that we just brushed out. You can see it's looking pretty nice. Then I'll put it inside out again. Grab that microfiber, get it wet, and then I'll just rub the rubber on it. Then I'll hold it by the rubber, go work this edge in. Put this back the correct way and do the outside now. And then I'll grab a Q-tip, get it lightly damp, and then just spin it around in here. I'll grab a dry one, and same thing, get that dry. And that's your tip cleaned. Now, moving on to our case. I like to start with a Q-tip. I'll get it a little damper than usual, still like roll it off. And I'll just start wiping in that channel. Be mindful of the charging pins, but you also do want to clean them. So I just lightly roll off of them, and then I'll kind of get up on the edge, and then I'll swipe up the edge, and then work around all the edges in there, in that channel. Then I'll go ahead and get that dry side. Work it out. Then here, since there are magnets here, you do get this kind of black like staining. And I mean, sometimes you'll have even pieces of metal, and I'll start by just kind of grabbing those and then wiping it off on a paper towel or something. But the staining, you can't really get rid of. We've experimented with, like, you can use like goof off or something, but then it'll make the finish from gloss to matte, so it'll kind of permanently damage that plastic finish. So I'll get this pretty moist, my microfiber, and just kind of rub in like with pretty good pressure on the affected areas, we'll say. And it'll clean up all like the surface loose crap and whatever just junk is around here. And I'll kind of fold it to mold into that ear shape. And with getting it pretty moist and just working all up around here. And we move up to here. Sadly, these stains, yeah, there's no real way of getting them out, but if you keep up with your cleaning, it won't get too bad. Like, I've seen some pairs where, like, excuse me, it's pretty bad where it's just all black, like stained black, and these get stained like yellow or even black sometimes. Luckily, this pair isn't too bad, but again, I'll just make sure the towel is pretty damp, and I just fold it thinner like here, so I can really get it in between that channel, and it kind of molds to it. It'll really work its way in there. And now on the outside, just getting that towel damp, and it's as if you're like buffing it. I actually have experimented with buffing using like a cutting compound, not too gritty though, and it does get some stains out. Actually, I have, like, if your pair is super yellowed, you could actually use like auto, like, see, I don't know, you probably even have it in your garage or your shed. You got the compound for buffing, and that works. Sometimes I think I've used the Scratch X remover too. It's like some kind of scratch remover, like kind of buff that in. You just get some on a towel, and then you just work it in like this. And like a minute of that, I've actually had pretty good luck with getting yellowing out. But with here, we're just kind of cleaning, making sure it's good. Nice and clean. Again, dampen your towel as you see fit. But for the most part, that's that. So we'll go ahead and reassemble. This is pretty simple. You just line it up. You'll have 2 holes that'll indicate top and bottom. Doesn't matter which side's which. And then you just kind of hear a little click. Beautiful. Put that back in its place. And beautiful. These are dead, but once you finish, you make sure it's charging. It'll light up green if it's fully charged, or orange or amber if it's charging. But that's it. It's really that simple. Hope you guys liked and enjoyed. We will be making a kit, an earbuds cleaning kit. So depending on when you're watching this, it could be linked below, or check our website, and we'll have a nice little kit for you guys to do this at home and clean your buds yourselves. Or you could kind of use whatever you have around the house. Find like a little brush, maybe even like a toothbrush will work too. I'm sure everyone has Q-tips at home, and you could, some rubbing alcohol, or I don't know, get creative, use something similar to rubbing alcohol, I guess. But I hope you guys liked that video and enjoyed. Pretty simple. Sometimes the charger port can get dirty. Just be very careful. You could clean it with a brush and get it like lightly damp and clean in there. Just make sure that I would kind of drain the battery on this first, just so you don't potentially short anything out there. But doable, and be mindful. Don't like try to shove any like pointy, like a screwdriver or something, because you could damage those pins and then you can't charge them. But with the brush, I have done it before. Once they're dead, no issues. But hope you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below, and we do our best to answer all you guys' comments. Share this video, purchase any products you want, and this has been Eddie with Joe's Gaming Electronics. Hope you guys enjoyed.